I don't know how I did it, but I somehow did, and it's not good. I lost a mojo pole, and I can't find it. So I gotta find that. I was preparing for this video, getting some stuff put together to talk about dove season and the stuff that I bring for it, which is what we're gonna be doing today. But I lost a mojo pole, and then I got distracted doing that. So today we're gonna be talking about what I bring dove hunting, and hopefully it gives you guys a good idea of what to pack in your bag when you go dove hunt. But I also want to take advantage of a day off from work, thankfully, so I can make a video. And we're gonna go check out some dove spots that I have not looked at yet. I've got some other ones. I'm waiting till next week to go and check them because they looked amazing the last time I looked. So we'll have to check those out next week. But today we're gonna drive around, find some new spots. We'll look at public, we'll look at private, see if we can get some access, and hopefully piece together some good dove hunts for September. I think we'll go down to a spot, check it out, hopefully find something. We're looking for milo fields, corn fields, sunflower fields. Anything that's been cut is great, but if not, I've hunted them over milo and that worked okay. But we're gonna go check some spots and see what things look like at an area that I haven't looked at yet. Loving the new truck, by the way. It's a solid piece of machinery. I think it'll do me well. All right, let's go check some new spots. Well, I found a spot that could potentially be a good dove field. Bunch of sunflowers. Lots of seeds are getting picked off of these things. They're not as dried out as the place that I checked a couple weeks ago. So these guys must have gotten planted a lot later. But still, we got seeds, and hopefully within next week or so they come in, spray them with Roundup, and then mow them right before the season starts, and we have some good dove hunts. But overall it's pretty sparse in here. Lots of open gaps. I don't know if the camera's able to pick it up, but fairly decent sized dove field. I just don't know if I'm gonna end up hunting it, but still good to have options, you know, place to go slip in the morning, go shoot a couple of doves, you know. Always nice to have lots of different options when it comes to hunting ducks or whatever you want to hunt. In this case, doves. So there's a good tip for you guys. If you are looking for spots to dove hunt, don't just have one in mind. Always have multiples, because I know opening day it can get pretty rowdy in public land dove fields. So having different options and maybe going to a field that's a little less packed could be beneficial. But I've also had hunts where I've been in a field that's absolutely loaded and lots of shooters in the field, and we've done well. So I don't know, it's just kind of your personal preference when it comes down to that. But let's go ahead and talk about what I'm going to be bringing with me for dove season this year. Here we go. We've got all the dove hunting gear for this year just in 1, 2, 3 little packages. And I know I probably forgot some stuff, and if I don't cover something in this video that you guys like to use, drop it down in the comments, because I might find it useful and other people who watch this video might also find it useful. So we're gonna first of all go ahead and talk about this guy, which I've wanted to make a video on this before, but I mean, it's just a chair, so we'll include it in this video. So this is my Rogers chair that I use for duck hunting, and I think it'll work great for dove hunting as well. It is the wide tripod chair. I will leave a link to it in the description. They're only like 30 bucks, and they are super easy to pack in, lightweight, and they're really comfortable to sit in. So when you go dove hunting, make sure you have a chair or a bucket, something to sit on, because standing out in the dove field for a couple of hours is not the greatest experience. But sometimes you get into a hunt where you're like, oh, there's lots of birds flying, and I can't sit down and relax. So just depends, but make sure to bring a chair so then you can have a place to sit down other than the ground or standing. And then over here we've got my shotgun, one of the two that I use for dove hunting. And I think I might break this guy out a little later in dove season, but this is my over-under 12 gauge, and I absolutely love it. It's a CZ Upland ultralight. It's a sweet little gun. The only drawback to this is, one, there's a couple drawbacks. One, you only have 2 shells in your gun, so you don't have that third one like you would with a pump or a semi-automatic. and this thing kicks like a mule. And if you shoot this gun a lot, it will wreck your shoulder. And I've done that with shooting clays with this thing. Like, it's a fun gun to shoot, but it kicks like a mule. And it's just because it's an ultralight shotgun. There's not a lot of mass in here to absorb the recoil. Even those light loads, I mean, I have a bruise on my shoulder after I shoot 25 loads out of this thing. So that's the only drawback. Pretty sweet little gun. I enjoy using it. I want to get it out in duck season, but I also want to keep the gun nice. So it just depends on the hunt. But still, fun gun to shoot. Make sure you have a shotgun. 12 gauge, 20 gauge, whatever you want to use. I only have 12 gauge shotguns, so that's what I choose to use, either the over-under or my Winchester. Now we're getting into the fun part. This is my blind bag that I choose to use for pretty much all of my hunting that I do. This is my Rogers Elite Double Spinning Wing Backpack, and it's got all kinds of bells and whistles, and you can fit all kinds of stuff in there. First of all, we got little slots on the sides that I keep my Mojo poles in. And so I need to find the other one. I have no clue where it went, so I gotta find it. I have 4 Mojos, but I only have 3 poles, so that can be problematic. We'll start on the pockets on the outside here. On the outside of the bag, I've got pockets on both sides. That's where I keep my shotgun shells. And so when it comes down to shells, you need to make sure that if you're hunting a public land area, most of the time they require you to use steel shot. So here I would most likely have to be using steel shot. So these ones are not allowed, but I use 2 3/4, 7 1/2 or 8s. It doesn't really matter to me. I haven't noticed a difference when shooting doves. And then when it comes down to steel shot, I usually use 2 3/4 inch 7s. So keep an eye out for those on the shelves. And it's always a good idea when it comes down to dove loads, if you're looking to do quite a bit of dove hunting, have both lead and steel depending on where you're wanting to hunt. But if you're only hunting public fields that allow steel shot, just go buy a case of steel loads. They're always good to have around. So I've got another box of shells on the other side of the bag. Now opening it up, this is when the goodies start to come out. I have 5 of these little clip-on dove decoys, so I could like clip them on to a sunflower, make it look like a dove sitting there picking at it. Or I've managed to clip them onto some stuff on the ground. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you can clip them on anywhere you want, tree limbs, dead branches. They're really useful, I think. Just kind of gives the doves something to look at and say, hey, they're eating, I want to go eat. So those are nice to have, but I would rather have more of these guys out in a dove field. And these are Mojos. So they've got wings. You guys have probably all seen Mojos. I really like using dove Mojos for dove hunting because they seem to work really well. I think he needs new batteries. But adding flash into your spread. For some reason, the doves just get sucked into these things, and they work really, really, really well. I've been impressed ever since I started using dove Mojos at how well they work. And so like they're really useful for fields, but I think they're even more important when you're hunting on like a pond for doves. So I've been keeping my eye out while I was driving around this morning for little ponds that have dirt around the edges, because that's a great place to dove hunt. So don't just restrict yourself to dove hunting in a field. Keep an eye out for ponds. So I've got 1, 2, 3 dove Mojos, and I also like to bring out the Teal Mojo. It's easy to pack in, it adds flash. The doves won't know the difference if it's a duck or a dove. So just adds another spinner into my spread. I've got little slots on the middle part for all the wings here. And like I said, I've got 5 of these clip-ons, and then Thermacell. I've had a lot of mornings in the dove field when the mosquitoes are really bad. So having a Thermacell is nice, bug spray is nice, using both is great. So make sure you have some sort of bug repellent with you, because you will get eaten up by mosquitoes, just in my experience. But it's always good to take precautions. Bug bites suck. And we got just a couple more things. You want to make sure you bring some water with you. It's hot in September and you're going to be thirsty. It's always a good idea to pack a cooler full of water, keep it in the truck for when you get done with the hunt. You can have a big old glass of cold water. So make sure you bring a water bottle with you. You can bring snacks as well, always a good idea. I always bring like Pop-Tarts or a honey bun or pretzels. Lauren's been making some banana bread muffins, so those are probably going to be on the table for dove season this year. Up next we have hearing protection. These are my Tetra Alpha Shields. They're electronic hearing protection. They run $700, and I love using these things. I can hear everything around me, I can have conversations, but when it comes down to stuff that can damage my hearing, it cuts it out. So I can hear myself calling ducks, I can hear the ducks quacking and wings whistling, but when it comes down to gunshots, it will protect my hearing. They're the most natural electronic hearing protection I've ever used. You don't have to use electronics, but I do recommend it, especially in dove season. You're going to be shooting a lot of shells. Get some earplugs, use them, and protect your hearing, because once your hearing's gone, it won't ever come back. And I think that's about it. So it's pretty easy. I like dove hunting because it's so simple. You don't have to pack a lot of gear with you. Get in, sit down, enjoy a nice morning. It's not cold. Sometimes you get a nice little breeze coming through. I love dove hunting mornings because they're just so peaceful most of the time. So really easy to pack stuff in. One thing I do like to bring with me is a bucket. I used to sit on a bucket, but I want to bring this chair this year. It's so much better. But being able to throw your birds in the bucket and walk out, that's pretty handy. But that's all I've got for the stuff that I'm going to bring dove hunting. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to do that, because I've got tons of hunting content coming out your way. September is right around the corner. We got dove season, we got teal season, and then we're rolling on to the duck season. So it's going to be a fun ride this year. Things look great. We didn't have to deal with any flooding. Marshes look awesome. Dove fields look awesome. I think we're going to be in for a good year this year. Just hoping the weather cooperates. But that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you on the next one.